As a warning, this subject matter we are about to discuss, while historical in nature, is extremely distressing. Please use your own discretion before continuing. I'd also like to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Robbie Byrd. I'm a software developer at T3 in Austin, Texas. I'm a former journalist turned software developer. I was an investigative reporter before. I covered courts and capital punishment, and now I specialize in data visualization and multimedia. And what I'd like to talk to you about today is September 11th, 2001, a truly tragic day for America. We remember the collapsing buildings, the jumping man, and the brave passengers and crew of Flight 93. But with any tragedy, our nature is to focus on the pain and the remembrance, the heroes. It's extremely difficult, though, to revisit the true history and events of that day. And on September 11th, 2001, I was a college sophomore majoring in journalism in the tiny town of Troy, Alabama. I had spent the night of September 10th at my friend's birthday party, got in late, and didn't wake up until my alarm for my afternoon class. Of course, it wasn't long after I awoke that I learned the world was completely changed and most likely at war. I saw replays of the towers collapsing, of an earlier fire at the Pentagon, and the president speaking from an unknown location. I felt scared and uninformed. I'd missed out on the biggest event in my lifetime, and I had no idea what had happened or what was coming. And in the 20 years that have passed, I assumed that everyone awake at 8:49 when CNN first began broadcasting images of a burning WTC North Tower, that everybody must have experienced the day much differently than me. I imagine throngs of people crowding in front of television stores or standing in the middle of Times Square, crowded in, secret bunkers with multiple video conferences, just watching collectively with all the information coming in real time. And as I started this project, I realized that wasn't true at all. I think this image of Dick Cheney, who was essentially in charge of the military on this morning, watching a tiny television in the corner of his office, really made me wonder if anyone truly understood this day in its full. This was true not just of the vice president, but the president himself, and in fact, most of the world. And the amazing advances in media, the internet, and communications since that time, I think, have skewed my understanding and remembering of what life was like in 2001. And I'm sure for people that weren't alive in 2001, time has definitely skewed what it was like to be alive then. So I've set out on this mission to better understand this day. And the dominant news media of the day were still TV and print. Even before the advent of TiVo, you watched the events unfold in real time, or you waited 12 hours and you held a snapshot of the day, like in your hand, printed in huge block letters that America was under attack. And ultimately, the linear nature of both mediums didn't really paint a complete picture of the events of that day for me, and I wondered if it also could have changed the picture as recorded in history as well. And many projects have attempted to catalog and coalesce the narrative and the media from that day. However, of the three major sites dedicated to this purpose, only one is currently in good standing. Age and a lack of interest have made the History Commons, which is a detailed timeline of the events before, during, and after September 11th, and the Understanding 9/11 video project from the Internet Archive are both nearly defunct. As well, hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes exist in various data dumps across the internet, but they're not really organized or annotated.
Time is passing. Yet for the United States of America, there will be no forgetting September the 11th.
But I wonder if we already have. So my goal is to fulfill the promise that President Bush and the American people made to the world. We would remember. So how? To help us remember, I decided a new tool was needed to help teach students about major world events that happen in real time. It needed to grab a student's attention. It needed to be like truly explorative and interactive, a must, when teaching to digital natives. Yeah, I also wanted a system that could help teachers share curriculum, teaching strategies, and tweak the tool to their own lesson plans. So we needed three things. We needed data, um, we needed a content management system to organize the data, and we needed a user interface to interact with that data. Um, there's a lot of data. And so we needed a system that could help us sort through, filter, and manage that content. And then that data and the content management's not really much without a top-notch user experience that's going to, hyper engage the students and maintain the authenticity of that day and its events. So let's start with the data. Nearly a terabyte or more of raw data exists today that I'm aware of, spread across multiple independent data sources. Some like the Internet Archive focus only on being just a true repository of data, and others are conspiracy sites that house exclusive leaked tapes or data released by government agencies through Federal Information Act requests. It's truly a gamut from audio, video, to radar readouts and altitude tracking systems. So it's a lot of data. And at the beginning of this project, I just collected as much as I could. I scraped the data from various sources, the Internet Archive, the History Commons, as many government sites as I could. And as I kind of combed through all this data, I stumbled upon a single track named 12 track12.mp3. And after I listened to it, it was this moment that I realized that I wanted to do this. And so I wanted to share this a piece of this track with you.
Are they going to be able to get somebody up here?
Well, of course, ma'am. We're coming up for you.
Well, there's no one here yet, and the floor is completely engulfed. We're on the floor, and we can't breathe.
Okay.
And it's very, very, very hot.
Are the lights still on?
The lights are on, but it's very hot.
Ma'am, stay calm.
Very hot. We're all the way on the other side of Liberty, and it's very, very hot.
As many times as I've listened to that, it's still difficult to hear. That was Melissa Missy Doy, manager for IQ Financials. She was on the 83rd floor of the South Tower when United Airlines Flight 175 crashed somewhere in between the 77th and the 85th floors. Doy and five others from her office were trapped, and neither her nor the dispatcher knew that the 911 call was, in vain. Only 14 of nearly 2,000 employees above the impact zone would ever escape the South Tower. Doy continued to speak to a 911 Operator Barnes, who stayed on the phone for more than 15 minutes after Doy lost consciousness.
Oh, boy. I want to be fine. Possible. They sound like they might be unconscious. They just keep talking, saying positive things. Okay, Melissa, it's going to be fine, all right? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Melissa, please.
Operator Barnes stayed on the phone for over 20 minutes, long after Melissa and the other employees of IQ Financial trapped on the 85th floor of the South Tower had, lost consciousness and were unable to speak. And you heard about 47 seconds of the media available. In total, there are about 2 weeks of audio and video, along with 1,500 photos and about 7,200 distinct timeline events, all individually sourced from reputable news agencies. The audio includes from the NYPD Dispatch, live radio from the Fire Department of New York Emergency Ops, the Port Authority, as well as video from September 11th and the days around September 11th from CNN, BBC, MSNBC, the major networks in America, PBS, WorldNet, Iraqi TV, and dozens more. So for this to work, we really needed a way to organize all of this media, and we built a custom content management system. The content management system is needed to be, flexible and customizable for teachers, as well as easy, so that they could build out a media playlist quickly, that aligns with their curriculum. Plus, with so much data, it's crucial that educators can sift through all of this and find the media that best supports their curriculum. And when dealing with digital natives, interactive tools for engagement and assessment are critical. So we wanted to be able to allow teachers to add those themselves. So I'm going to give you a little demo of the content management system. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to visit this website, admin.911realtime.org/admin. Use the username and password there, and you can use the content management system. So this is the content management system. Its primary goal is to handle all of these media items. We have a lot of them in the database. Let's take a look at the ones that we have here. Thousands and thousands, obviously. It's a lot of data to look at once, so we have some advanced filtering here. Let's just look at media from September the 11th. We can also filter down by network, so we can show CNN. And we can also show by approved. Sometimes we want to put media in the database, but we're not ready to display it out to the public. Maybe it needs to be fine-tuned, trimmed, so we can turn those yes or no. So let's just show the approved. We have this one video here that's about 24 hours long for the day of September the 11th. Let's take a look at it here. And this is the media edit page. As you can see, we have the date and time of the media, the time zone, its title, any tags that may relate to this video, whether it's been approved or not, an actual preview of the media, and of course some other information. And down here at the bottom we have these things called collections. And collections are a grouping of different media that help tell the story of September the 11th in a unique way. So teachers that are working with a specialized curriculum can pick and choose which media items that they want to display for their students, especially when dealing with younger students. This can help filter out some of the more graphic images. It also allows teachers to build their own custom content, including quizzes, photos, personal stories from their community, anything that helps tell the story. And of course, we have these markers, which are also really helpful. They're specific points in time on the day of September the 11th. And when you click on one of these markers, you jump straight to that time, which we'll see in just a few minutes when we demo the UI. And of course, this content management system is available for all teachers. Access is free, and they can build as many collections as they want. So that was a content management system. But of course, that's not much without a user experience for the students to use. And we felt it was really important to engage students, but at the same time, present them with an interface that's not familiar, but really does help to tell the story of September the 11th, 2001. It's important to remember the year was 2001. The Mir spacecraft, space station fell to Earth. The iPod was released. George W. Bush was sworn in as president. Wikipedia started. AOL Time Warner emerged. It was a very different time, and it was a important time for me. My memories of the earliest days of the internet revolve around the Macintosh and the iMac, and I thought it was important to recreate that experience fully, to immerse students not just in the events, but the technology and the culture of the time. And of course, it was really nice to pay an homage to the tool that opened up a whole new world for me. So the site is live today in beta form at 911realtime.org, and we're going to take a minute now and explore how it works. So the first thing that you'll see when you load the website is this pop-up disclaimer. It just warns that some of the content is visual and that for students it should be used alongside a appropriate curriculum. It also displays the time, which is September the 11th at 8:13:30 a.m. Eastern. This is about the time that air traffic control lost contact with American Flight 11. So we will power this on, and you'll see we have a couple of windows here, the largest of which is our TV tuner. We can click on different channels.
Nationwide, you'll see a lot of us have links directly to the U.S. State Department.
We also have recreations of some of the flights and their flight paths. You'll also notice below here we have an audio player. Right now we have recording from WINS 1010 in New York City. It's an AM news radio station, and we're also getting
American 11, climb maintain level
audio
350.
right now from air traffic control. You'll also notice over here to the right, the hijacking of Flight 11 is well into progress, and Daniel Lewin is a internet entrepreneur who founded Akamai, has just been killed. This live news ticker continues throughout, keeping up to date with the time. All of these windows can be resized, obviously, as well as minimized and even closed. We also have a timeline of events here. Let's skip ahead to 8:49:34, which is we'll switch over to CNN. And yep, there are the first nationally broadcast images of the burning North Trade Tower. Pretty soon, other TV stations will catch up as we jump ahead to 9:03. And all of these videos are synced in real time. They all keep their time together. And besides the audio, video, and news applications here, teachers can also adjust settings so that they only display certain networks or certain types of items. For instance, some of our videos are encoded with a legacy format, and some are encoded with our new streaming video device, and these work much better for low bandwidth students, so teachers can choose to toggle those on and off. This is the front-end UI UX, but obviously you can spend hours here. I encourage you to visit the website and experience this for yourself. So we have the data, we have the content management system, and we have the user experience. So is there anything else we need? Well, yes, there are. Currently, we're looking for help with hosting costs, a better video distribution system to help us reach students with lower bandwidth, develop a curriculum with the help from teachers and educators to help go alongside the tool and make it easier for teachers to jump right in. Engineering and design experts to help improve the UI, the UX, and also to help the underlying infrastructure that all of this runs on. And certainly public relations and partnerships with museums, groups, and other 9/11 charities that can help us reach educators and use this tool to help students fully understand the day. And of course, we're hoping to launch the full beta site on September the 11th, 2021, which would be the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Of course, I'm always available for questions. Feel free to give me an email. My email address is robbie.byrd@t3.com. Again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. This is a difficult subject. I know it was hard. And thank you for listening to 2 years of my hard work. I hope that we can work together to get this tool into the hands of educators and students. Thanks.